Was saying parts of the North Shore have been slammed by heavy lake effect snow bands the last couple days.
Silver Bay is one of them, where folks are digging out tonight. That's where we find our reporter Cara Kopp live tonight. Cara, have road conditions improved any up there since your live report at 6 o'clock?
Yeah, guys, the roads have definitely improved, and that's probably because it miraculously stopped snowing a few hours ago, but there was still a lot to do because earlier today, to say the least, the snow was relentless. You can even see that over on Highway 61, right over there, where there are bits of pavement peeking out. However, you can still see a lot of that white packed down over there. It was 5 to 15 inches of snow that fell in Silver Bay, depending on where you are in town. That's how wild these lake effect snow bands can be. But while I was up here, some people in Silver Bay told me they were actually welcoming this winter weather. One woman I talked to, named Betsy Mead, who works in Silver Bay, says she was ecstatic to see the snow. She says she can finally get started on some of her favorite winter activities that she wasn't able to do when the temperatures were unseasonably warm last month.
I'm looking forward to skiing or snowshoeing or simply sitting in my house, drinking coffee, looking outside at all the beautiful snow.
However, some people who live here in Silver Bay didn't quite feel the same. One person I talked to said he could do without having to wipe all the snow off his car, but he did say it was nice to see a winter back in Minnesota. The roads, especially Highway 61, again, are extremely slippery. I even noticed a lot of people taking it extremely slow around that bend. So if you do have to head up the North Shore tonight or even tomorrow morning, just remember to take it slow.
All right, folks up there in Silver Bay taking all that lake effect snow in stride. Cara Kopp reporting live for us in Silver Bay tonight. Thank you, Cara.